Her name was Brianna, and she walked into my life like she owned the room. Bright smile, soft voice, perfect timing. We met at a coffee shop downtown on a quiet Saturday morning. She asked to share my table because every seat was taken. I said yes before I even thought about it. Her laugh was easy, confident, like she knew exactly what effect she had. We talked about music, travel, dreams, everything felt natural. By the time she finished her latte, I was already falling. My friend Jake warned me right away. He said she looked like someone who measures love in dollars. I told him he was being cynical. He told me I was being blind. But when someone like Brianna looks at you like you matter, logic disappears. We started seeing each other every day. Texting nonstop, late-night calls, weekend dates that stretched till morning. Within 2 weeks, she was staying over more than at her own place. She brought her clothes, her skincare, her perfume. I didn't notice when her toothbrush replaced mine. It just felt nice to have someone waiting at home. At first, she offered to help with small things. Cooking breakfast, folding laundry, keeping the apartment cozy. But bills, groceries, rent, those stayed on me. When I asked, she smiled and said her modeling gigs were between contracts. I believed her because she said it like it was temporary. Then came the first favor. Her card declined at a cafe, and she looked embarrassed. "Can you get this one? I'll pay you back next week." Of course I said yes. Then it happened again with ride shares, phone bills, little emergencies. She always promised to pay me back. She never did. Still, I didn't complain. Every time we went out, people stared. I could see it in their faces. How did a guy like me end up with her? That attention felt intoxicating. I thought maybe this was what success looked like. Jake noticed the pattern before I did. He said, "She's building her lifestyle on your paycheck." I laughed it off. But slowly, I started realizing I couldn't remember the last time she paid for anything. Not coffee. Not dinner. Not even a movie ticket. She used my Netflix, my Spotify, my Amazon Prime. Everything that was mine quietly became ours. When I mentioned it, she kissed me and said I was overthinking. And somehow, that made me feel guilty for even noticing. It was a strange kind of hypnosis. She made me feel like the luckiest guy alive, and the stupidest at the same time. Her compliments came right after her requests. Her affection always followed my generosity. It was subtle, like a slow drip that emptied my wallet and clouded my mind. By month 4, she had fully moved in. By month 5, my savings had started to shrink. But I told myself it was normal. Relationships were about giving, right? I didn't realize I was the only one giving anything at all. It started with one simple night out. She said the girls wanted to celebrate someone's birthday downtown. I didn't see a problem with that. Everyone needs a night with friends, right? She promised to be home by 1. She left in a gold dress that looked like it cost half my paycheck. I waited up, watching the clock. 1 became 2, 2 became 3. She came home at 4 in the morning smelling like expensive champagne. When I asked how it was, she smiled and said, "Don't be jealous." The next weekend, there was another party. Different dress, new shoes, professional makeup. She said it was part of networking for her influencer career. That word, networking, became her excuse for everything. And somehow, every networking night landed right after my paycheck hit. I noticed the timing, but I didn't want to sound controlling. Then came the expenses. She needed a new outfit because she already posted the last one online. She needed a blowout because lighting in clubs is harsh. Each week the bills grew higher. 200 here, 300 there, always from my card. When I asked if she could slow down, her tone changed instantly. "If you don't trust me, why are you with me?" The words hit harder than I expected. I froze, apologized, told her I didn't mean to accuse her. And just like that, she won. That phrase became her shield, her favorite weapon. Whenever I questioned anything, she used it. Why are you out so late? If you don't trust me, why are you with me? Why is the card maxed out again? If you don't trust me, why are you with me? I started to doubt myself instead of her. Maybe I was too suspicious. Maybe she was right. But deep down, something didn't feel right. Jake saw it immediately. He said, "She's training you to feel guilty for being logical." He told me to look at the facts, not the feelings. But when I saw her in that dress, glowing under club lights, logic didn't matter. She'd hug me before leaving and whisper, "You're my world." And I'd believe her, even as she emptied my wallet. My friends stopped inviting me out because I always said I was broke. I couldn't admit why. Every time I thought about confronting her, that sentence echoed in my head. If you don't trust me, why are you with me? It made me feel like a bad boyfriend, like I was the problem. I told myself she was young, ambitious, chasing her dreams. I wanted to be supportive, not suspicious. But as the nights got later and the receipts got longer, I couldn't ignore it anymore. The woman I thought I loved wasn't just spending money. She was spending my trust, piece by piece. And I was running out of both. The breaking point came on a Thursday night. I had the worst week at work, barely sleeping, drowning in deadlines. All I wanted was a quiet dinner at home with her. She walked out of the bedroom, wearing a silver dress that caught every light. It looked like something for an awards show, not a bar. "Where are you going?" I asked, trying to sound calm. "The girls want to check out this new place on 6th Street, she said. "It's just one night. Can't you stay in tonight? I really need some peace." She rolled her eyes. "If you don't trust me to make my own choices, why are you with me?" There it was again. The same sentence, the same tone, the same manipulation. But this time, something inside me snapped. I didn't argue. I just said, "You know what, that's a really good question." She blinked, confused, then grabbed her purse and left. I sat alone in silence, staring at the clock until 2 a.m. The apartment felt empty in a new way, like something finally broke. For the first time, I asked myself what that question really meant. If I didn't trust her, why was I still here? The answer hit harder than I expected. I wasn't staying out of love anymore. I was staying out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of wasting time, fear of admitting defeat. But love shouldn't feel like losing a part of yourself. The next morning, she came home wearing a man's leather jacket. "Whose jacket is that?" I asked. She laughed. "Just some guy's." I was cold. I stared at her for a long time. Something in her eyes told me she didn't even care to lie properly anymore. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just watched her walk away to the shower like nothing happened. And while the water ran, I opened my laptop. I started pulling up credit card statements. Every charge, every Uber, every dinner, every boutique. Thousands of dollars gone in months. I didn't even feel angry anymore, just hollow. Jake came over that afternoon and saw the look on my face. Finally seeing the truth, he said quietly, "She's not your girlfriend, man. She's your accountant's worst nightmare." We both laughed, but it wasn't funny. Jake suggested a plan, something smart, something cold. "Don't confront her yet," he said. "Give her what she wants, total trust, but make her responsible for it." At first, I didn't understand. Then he explained. "She wants freedom without responsibility. Let's flip it. Trust her with bills, errands, adult stuff. When she fails, you'll have proof she never wanted trust, just control." It sounded cruel, but also perfect. That night, as Brianna slept peacefully beside me, I felt strangely calm. For the first time in months, I wasn't scared of her words. If she wanted trust, I'd give her more than she could handle. And I'd be watching every single move. The next weekend, I started the plan. She was doing her makeup, getting ready for another girls' night. I stood by the door and said calmly, Hey, Bri, I trust you completely. She smiled at her reflection. Good, you should. That's why I'm letting you handle the electric bill this month. It's $290 total. I'll send you half. She froze, lipstick midair. Wait, what? You always handle that stuff. Yeah, but you're right. Trust should go both ways. I believe in you. Her smile tightened. Fine, whatever, I'll do it. She didn't. By Monday morning, I got a call from the power company about a late payment. I asked her that night, and she sighed. Oh, I totally forgot. You should have reminded me. I didn't think I needed to, I said. I trusted you. She frowned, sensing something off. For the first time, she didn't have a comeback. That was just the beginning. I gave her the grocery list next. She came back with energy drinks, scented candles, and no food. When I asked where the dinner stuff was, she said, I got distracted. Next, I asked her to schedule the internet upgrade. She forgot the appointment entirely. Then the car oil change, she missed it, and the engine light came on. Jake started keeping track of everything in a spreadsheet. Each row was another failure, another excuse. He called it the trust report. We laugh about it during FIFA nights, but deep down I felt sick. It wasn't even about money anymore. It was about watching someone fail every single chance to act like a partner. Meanwhile, her nights out got longer. Sunday brunches, Monday mixers, Wednesday industry events. Every week another excuse, another dress, another charge. And new clothes started appearing in the apartment. Men's hoodies, expensive jackets, things I didn't recognize. I asked about them and she shrugged. Just borrowed from friends. Jake noticed one hoodie still had a cologne smell. Pretty sure her friends wear aftershave, he said dryly. That's when we checked my streaming account. There were hours of UFC fights, basketball games, sports highlights. Brianna hated sports with a passion. I remembered her complaining whenever I turned on a game. So who was watching from noon to 4 every weekday? I didn't want to believe it, but the pieces were fitting together. Jake said, she's not just lying, man. She's getting comfortable doing it. He was right. So I set the next test. I told her I'd be working late on Thursday. Then I left work early and parked down the street from my building. There was a black BMW in my space. I waited. At 3:45, a tall guy walked out, wearing one of the jackets from my couch. He didn't even look guilty. When I walked inside, she was in the shower, 2 coffee cups still warm in the sink. When she came out, she smiled like nothing happened. How was work? She asked sweetly. Quiet, I said, very quiet. And for the first time, I smiled back, because now I wasn't guessing anymore. After that day, everything changed inside me. I wasn't angry anymore, just focused. Jake called it the collection phase. We started documenting everything, every lie, every expense. He said evidence was power, and he was right. I opened a separate savings account and told Brianna it was for our future. I said I was saving for an engagement ring. Her eyes lit up like fireworks. She hugged me, said I was the best boyfriend ever. Meanwhile, I stopped paying for her club nights. When she asked for money, I told her I was saving for us. She couldn't argue without revealing her real intentions. It worked perfectly. She started pretending to be supportive, but the clubbing didn't stop. Every weekend, she disappeared with new clothes and new excuses. My security friend from downtown texted me one night. Hey man, isn't this your girlfriend? Attached were photos of Brianna at a VIP table with older men. Not in a group, not with girlfriends, just her and them. One photo showed her holding hands with a man twice her age. Another showed her kissing someone else under the club lights. A third showed her accepting what looked like cash. I stared at the pictures for an hour before I spoke. Jake looked at them and nodded. She's not dating you, Ethan. She's running a business. I didn't cry. I didn't even yell. I just kept collecting proof. Screenshots of her messages. Receipts of unexplained expenses. The timeline of every girl's night. We found 15 men's clothing items in my apartment. Jake made a folder called The Evidence Bible. It had everything: photos, bills, timestamps, notes. In 8 weeks, the list was impossible to ignore. 52 documented lies about her whereabouts. $4,000 in club expenses. 0 responsibilities completed. It was a pattern, not a mistake. Then came the final straw. I came home early on a Friday and found her on the couch in lingerie. A thick stack of cash sat beside her purse. She jumped when she saw me. "What's that money from?" I asked calmly. "Oh, just modeling work," she said too fast. "What kind of modeling pays in cash?" Her eyes narrowed. "If you don't trust me, why are you with me?" The sentence that once silenced me now made me smile. "You're right," I said softly. "That's a great question." She didn't know what to do with my calmness. She just sat there, clutching her purse like it could save her. That night, I called Jake. "Tomorrow," I said, "it's time." He laughed. "Finally, you ready for the nuclear option?" "I've been ready for months." We planned it like a mission. I printed every piece of evidence. Organized it in folders by category. Money, lies, affairs. For the first time in 2 years, I slept peacefully. Because I knew exactly what was coming next. Saturday morning came bright and quiet. She was still asleep when I made coffee and laid the papers on the table. When Brianna finally walked out, she looked exhausted. "Morning," she muttered, rubbing her eyes. "We need to talk," I said calmly. "Can it wait? I feel awful," she groaned. "No, you've asked me something many times, and I finally have an answer." She looked confused, maybe even nervous. "What are you talking about?" "You always say, if I don't trust you, why am I with you?" I smiled. I figured it out. Her expression softened, like she thought this was romantic. "The truth is, I shouldn't be with you at all." Then I opened the folder. Bank statements, receipts, photos, screenshots, laid out like a courtroom case. Her face went pale. "What the hell is this?" "This," I said, "is every lie you told me for 2 years." She tried to laugh it off, but her hands were shaking. "You've been spying on me like some crazy stalker." "No," I said quietly. "I've just been trusting you exactly the way you wanted." I showed her photos of her at the VIP tables, her hand in another man. Her excuses tripped over each other. "They're just friends." "Friends who pay you in cash?" I asked. She said nothing. Then I pulled out the final document, a new lease for a 1-bedroom apartment. "I'm moving out next week. You have 30 days to figure out your life." Her voice cracked. "You can't be serious." "I've never been more serious." Tears came fast. She begged, pleaded, promised to change. "I'll stop going out. I'll get a real job. I'll pay you back every cent." "With what job?" I asked softly. "You haven't worked in 2 years." She switched tactics, angry now. "You're letting Jake control you. He's jealous of us." "Jake, been the only person honest with me," I said. She grabbed my arm, desperate. "Please, Ethan, I love you." "No, you love my wallet, and I'm done financing your life." Jake arrived at that exact moment carrying boxes. He smiled wide. "Moving day." "Moving day," I said. She turned to him, tears streaming. "Please tell him he's making a mistake." Jake shrugged. "Mistake? The only mistake was trusting you." We packed my things while she cried and shouted. "You can't just leave me here," she screamed. "You left me long before I packed a single box," I said. By evening, the apartment was empty except for her things. I left her the same amount she brought into my life. Nothing. That night, Jake and I sat on my new couch eating pizza. He raised his soda can. To trust, the most dangerous word in love. I laughed for the first time in months. My phone buzzed for days with her messages. She said she was broke, sleeping in her car, regretting everything. I never replied, because sometimes silence is the only answer left. And for the first time, I felt free. 2 weeks later, I heard she moved back to Oklahoma. Her Instagram was full of sad quotes about fake people. No more champagne bottles or designer bags in the background. Just filtered sunsets and broken captions about self-love. Jake sent me one post that said, "You lose real ones when you're fake." We both laughed until our stomachs hurt. It wasn't revenge that made me smile. It was relief. I finally had my peace back. I learned that trust isn't something you demand. It's something you earn by being honest when no one's watching. Brianna used trust like a shield to hide behind. But when the truth came out, she had nothing left to stand on. I didn't block her. I just stopped answering. Some stories don't need closure. They just need to end. Now when I look back, I don't feel anger. I feel gratitude for the lesson. Because losing her taught me something priceless. Real love doesn't start with trust. It starts with truth.